Ms. Huerta, will you please call roll?
Chairman Billy Lerma,
Here.
Board members rather, Steve Banta. Here. Roland Barrera. Here. Kenneth Berry.
Here.
Barbara Canales. Not here yet. Paulette Guajardo. Present. Gil Hernandez.
Here.
Michael Hunter is absent. John Martinez is running late, but will be here. Ben Molina is absent. Mike Pesley. Tom Schmidt is absent. Carol Scott.
Here.
Greg Smith is absent. Carolyn Vaughn.
Here.
Okay, we do have a quorum present to conduct the meeting, Chairman.
Thank you. We'll go into public comment. Is there anyone here today to make a public comment? Ms. Huerta?
No, sir, there is. I understand Ms. Meyer would like to make public comment, but when the item comes up, so not during this period.
Okay. Item D, approval of the minutes of the March 16th, 2021 reinvestment zone, number 4, regular meeting of May 18th, 2021, special meeting. Been moved and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? Motion carries. No financial report. TIRZ 4, or do we? Oh, yes, we do. TIRZ 4 financial report as of April 30th, 2021.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Heather Holbert, Director of Finance. Can you bring the presentation up, please? Next slide, please. So these are the financial statements as of April 30th, 2021. So we originally had budgeted about $70,000 worth of revenue for this TIRZ. This is the first year of the increment for this TIRZ. But what happened is after we received our certified tax rolls, there were some temporary exemptions given due to damage caused by Hannah to several of the buildings down on the island. So what ended up happening is that actually our base year fell to, our first year of increment fell to about what the base year was. So in this first year, the TIRZ is only expected to produce about $118 due to these temporary exemptions. Now the exemptions do come back on the rolls in that second year, so you'll see when we bring the budget to you for review that we will have some increment that is going to be earned in that second year. But due to those temporary exemptions, that brought our first year increment down to about our base year, so it really didn't produce any revenue. We still do have the expenses for the first year of reimbursement for creation of the zone expenses, and then we do have those administrative services. And so right now, the fund does have a negative balance in it because of the increment that was not generated in this first year. So that does conclude my presentation, and I have available for any questions.
Any questions, board members? Okay.
Okay. Exactly. Or at least have them hit somewhere else, yes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Move we approve.
You have a second?
There's no action
I
required on the
didn't think
financial
so. I
report.
saw that. There's
Thank
no
you.
action on there. We have no executive session. Item G, agenda items. Move to approve the development reimbursement agreement with Date Tree Holdings LLC for improvements and projects located at 4606 Gulf Breeze. Morning, Randy.
Morning, Chair, Board members, Randy Almaguer, Senior Management Analyst. So the item number 3 before you is a development reimbursement agreement with Las Casitas del Mar, which is little houses of the sea, I believe, of the ocean, of the bay.
The ocean.
Next slide, please. So here we have new construction of 14 rental units on North Beach. 8 of them will be 1-bedroom apartments, 6 3-bedroom townhomes. Now, these will be equipped with rooftop solar panels for clean, green energy. as well as parking provided under the units. Total project cost will be right under $2.3 million. Next slide, please. Here's the address, aerial view of where the subject property will be. It's near Dolphin Park and also near existing cottage housing. The completion date for the developer will be July 31st, 2023. Next slide, please. Here's another aerial view of what it looks like in the subject property. If you see to the north, you have single-family residence. To the west, you have single-family residence as well as short-term vacation rentals. To the east, you have the condominiums, and again, to the south, some more single-family residence. Next slide, please. So here's the master site plan. I did hand out the updated site plan that was approved by the Planning Commission. The change was, as you're entering into the property, it's rounded off, the radius there, instead of where it's squared off by the multifamily homes. That was recommended to the developer by Fire Chief. I'm not familiar with the name, but just for emergency crews to get in and out of there. As you see on the back towards the alley, you have your 6 condos. And then in the front, as you're entering into from Gulf Breeze, that would be from the west end, you have your 2 duplexes to the left, 2 to the right. And then as you can see, there's a pool there. It would be gated, additional parking off the street there, landscaping in the front of the duplexes. Next slide, please. So here's the layout for the floor plans. You see the first level floor plan, which is actually your second level, would be the first bedroom there off towards the back, has a walk-in closet, has a pocket door for that restroom. Of course, the common area, you have your kitchen, bar, living room, another door from the common area to the restroom. And if you look at that second level floor plan, you have your additional 2 bedrooms, loft in the middle. Bedroom number 2 has a smaller closet. The bedroom number 3 kind of mimics bedroom number 1, with how you have your private entry into your restroom, and then you still have a door from the common area and the loft area to access that restroom from bedroom 2 as well. Next slide, please. So here's your duplex floor plans. Again, you have your first level plan. You walk in there, you have your living room, bar, kitchen. Again, kind of the same layout as your condo with your entry points into the restroom from the bedroom, walk-in closet. Next slide, please. So here's your concept for your landscape. I will make note that in talking to the developer, he has signed a contract with Gill's Landscaping. So they'll be going, looking on how to make that environment more beach-friendly. These are just conceptual drawings of what it could look like. You know, you have your tall trees there in the front. Again, the landscaping, what I talked about in the earlier slides. Next slide, please. Then here's your solar panels for clean green energy. So the clean energy, you know, little to no emissions into the environment. Green is, you know, utilizing, you know, the sun. You know, you have other methods with your windmills, the ocean. And then reusable energy is these sources that are provided by nature. So what he's going, that concept, what he's going for is, you know, clean green, utilizing the least amount of emissions into the environment, greenhouse, you know, into the environment, environmental friendly units, bringing something unique to North Beach. Next slide, please. So here's some examples, just to give you an idea of what it could look like, what the developer's going for. As you can see in that picture to the left, shows that white stucco he's wanting to utilize. You know, the picture in the middle is that black roof line. Of course, these will be flat roofs for the solar panels. And then that third picture, you know, some landscaping of what this could, you know, just to give you that visual of what property would look like. Next slide, please. So these are the economics we came with the project in discussing with the developer. I know last meeting it was recommended by the board to get in discussions with the developer and bring something for the board to, as a recommendation. So as you can see here on the total project costs, you have the broken down with your cost of land, site work, financial costs, lifts, insurance, construction costs, and then we have what is eligible construction cost, which is $817,000. And then we break that down into what encompasses under that. So you have your landscape and pool, fees, water, sewer, sprinkler, fire alarms, safety railings, ADA lifts, again, the solar panels and lighting. Next slide, please. So this is what we're showing if the owner's all in with no incentive. He's right under 2.3 million. As you can see with the incentive, you have our project-specific development and our North Beach Living Initiative, which are in the project and financing plan. That totals to 16% of the project costs, and for best business practices, not more than 20% of the project costs. And you have a max incentive of $369,883. Next slide, please. So this is staff's recommendation for the board is project-specific development agreement, 75% tax increment, and represents 10% of the project costs, as well as your North Beach Living Initiative, which is $10,000 per unit, up to 14 units, and this represents 6% of the project costs. This time period will be less for 15 years or the expiration of the TIRZ. And again, our max incentive, $369,883, which is approximately 16% of the project costs. Next slide, please. That concludes my presentation. I stand by for any questions. Thank you.
Mr. Hernandez.
My light's not on.
It came on here. Any questions, board?
Well, since I'm called, I'll ask a question. Just want to make sure that we're going to elevate the property to 6.5 feet, right?
Yes.
And everything's going to be, I know on the artist conception, you have solar panels, but they're elevated. I don't know if that's, within compliance of hurricane standards, so I'm assuming that'll be taken care of at that point. Other than that, I'm assuming there's no other issues.
No, sir.
No. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? I have one. On our last meeting that we had with Mr. Gordon also, we were talking about the possibility of a color palette change. What was the outcome of that?
Well, we were in discussion over the past few weeks on that. It wasn't, in talking with the developer, it wasn't a sticking point that he couldn't change. He just was adamant about this vision, about what style he's going for, that Spanish Mediterranean style look, by the beach. I tried to heighten that with those examples of what it could look like. I do have the developer here as well if you had additional questions about that. But that's where we left off, and that's what we presented to the board on that style of color with the stucco and then the black roof line, that solid roof line there, and just trying to present a certain image for this project.
Okay, on your presentation on the three styles that were up there, can you bring that one back up?
Can we bring slide 10 up, please?
The one that had the three different styles, the roof pitch, the frontage, and there you go.
Whoops.
Right there. So these examples, so what you're telling me is the front of this, of the first one, that's the style that's going to be in the front of these? That are actually going to be on piers?
To my understanding, the colors, the white stucco is what he was trying to display in that first image in reading our correspondence back and forth. And then that second example, he's trying to show that roof line right above those windows there what that's going to look like. Again, he's going for that dark color roof line. And then that third picture, of course, is just that view of the landscaping.
See, because I mean, this, once again, this is what we had talked to the last time. This doesn't tell us much, because there's no other drawings behind this telling us what the front is going to look like. Are they going to have Mediterranean? Are they going to be square windows? Are they going to be oval windows? What exactly are we going to, to me, we're giving him a carte blanche that he can do anything he wants without showing us exactly what we're looking at. You know, and that's where I have an issue at. I thought that we were going to give him more time so he could look at this and come up with a different rendering, not necessarily a different style of the floor plan, but we would get pictures of what it would look like from the front of it that we're looking at, the back of it, the side of it, the windows in there, the doors in there. I mean, what are we looking at? I'm just looking at a trailer box, and I don't even know where the windows are going to be at on this thing, or the doors. I mean, that was my concern, of course, this color schemes, because we're talking about a beach, and I understand that he wants the Mediterranean style. I understand that. You know, but to me, you just got to give me more so I can visualize this.
But wasn't that, Councilman, or Chairman, wasn't that one of the issues we had last time?
I thought we did.
Well,
I don't
I'm
know.
sorry, I didn't hear
In
the
terms
question.
of the aesthetics of this?
Yes, so yes, in the last meeting, board members did request, us talking about bright colors, landscaping, if there was going to be a pool. He did address landscaping. He does have a contract with Gill's Landscaping. The pool is proposed. I don't believe we had it on that last meeting, but we're showing it off to the right there or south. And then again, you know, we were talking back and forth about the color scheme.
What was said about the color? And my concern, and, you know, we probably have a friend in the audience that could give us a little more info, but so close to the water, would white, is that going to turn dingy? Or, you know what I mean, with so much, I guess, those elements? Or not, maybe not. It's just a concern.
I believe it's actually better in talking with the developer, and what he was saying was that white is actually better for that beach environment from that being weathered, and that it's actually, that stucco will do better, that white stucco.
Really? So
Okay.
you're going to keep it clean? I mean, if it's not. That's a concern.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Mr. Pusley?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Peter, when this came before the council for zoning, did we approve the zoning or did we table it? I can't remember.
Yeah, it went to zoning, I think, was it?
Last week it went to the planning commission?
Yeah, planning and zoning was last week, so it hasn't come to council yet.
It hasn't come to council yet?
Right.
Okay.
It's proposed to be for council in August, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
So the council still has to approve the zoning before this goes forward. So it kind of seems to me like we're putting the cart before the horse in approving this for TIRZ approval when we haven't yet approved the zoning through council. I'm not sure why we're doing it this way.
So this is our standard practice, Councilman, to approve.
Of doing it backwards?
To approve incentives prior to the permitting, and that is because under state law, we can't approve economic development projects that are going to happen anyway, otherwise it'd be considered a gift. So we approve them prior to the permitting process with the understanding that the developer will not continue through the permitting process without the incentive. The developer would not continue the project. So if it gets, the farther it gets down the line, the more it looks like we're providing funding to a project that was going to occur without the incentive, and we're not allowed to do that under state law. We have to provide incentives to projects that need the incentive to proceed.
Okay, I'm not sure I understand that at all. But,
Not me either.
I just, if we haven't approved the zoning for this, which we haven't, and we had a discussion about this project at our last TIRZ meeting, is that correct, I know we've discussed this before,
That's
Yeah, that's
correct.
correct.
That was our last meeting in May.
and we had some questions then about the color that our chairman is talking about, and I was also under the impression that we were going to have some additional drawings to look at.
Yeah, color and landscaping were the two issues, Councilman. And the developer did address the landscaping more so than the color.
Right.
There's more landscaping shown in the pictures that are in the PowerPoint presentation.
Okay.
But on the color, the developer is still recommending the white, so.
And the planning commission approved this for the zoning change that they needed?
It's a
Yeah.
PUD, so they approved the PUD.
They agree, they approved the PUD?
Yeah, so they're going to recommend the PUD approval to city council in August.
Okay.
And just as a note, the contract does specifically require appropriate landscaping and appropriate design features to create a beach aesthetic. So while we may not have the full renderings at the moment, we are still going to require that in the contract.
Okay. That's all I had, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. No further questions? We have a public comment on this? State your name and your address, please.
Good morning, TIRZ Board. My name's Carrie Robertson Meyer, 4401 Gulf Breeze Boulevard. I live 2 blocks from this proposed development, and I'm here as a neighbor to show my support for the project for 2 reasons. One is the big picture, and one is more of a detailed response. So I just wanted to briefly go over those. The details that you guys have already been talking about, concerns with matching what's already on North Beach. First of all, North Beach has no overlay. It has no design of what should be built there. It's wide open. RMAT, residential multifamily apartment tourism, you can build a hotel right next door to a home. I live between 2 hotels, and they're both square, boxy buildings, tan. One of them's kind of a mustard yellow. Also in our neighborhood where most people live are tall condos that are brick, tan rectangles. That's where most people in North Beach live. It's the beach place right behind this place. It's a tan brick square building. Okay, and then next down, Las Brisas, The Breakers, Villa del Sol. So they're all that shape. In the last 5 or 10 years, we have been getting a few cottages that are on stilts that are more Port A style, more, the hardy plank, painted, different colors. So I think that's what people are used to seeing for new development on North Beach. But there's no law or rule or anything in the master plan that says any kind of architecture. So he's not breaking any rule. We have a lot of 1920s era, old, stucco, square motor court houses left. A few of those, actually. Mine used to be that, now I have a new house. My house is white, and that was the color that it was painted. It was a grant, so we didn't have any choices, but we actually kind of like it. It reflects the light. It's going to be easy to repaint, and I'm not sure if we're going to leave it as that or not, but there are whole white villages on Greek hillsides. When you go to Greece, I don't know if you've been there, but out on the island, we have Lively Beach, which is basically white boxes with some pastels thrown in, but very similar to what this man is proposing. I'm almost out of time, but the big picture is that this is really the first shovel-ready project that's come to the TIRZ board. So developers are sitting here watching this, waiting to see how our city embraces development on North Beach. Are we gonna say, well, we don't like what you're building? Or are we gonna say, come spend your $2.3 million here. Please do infill. This is 3 lots nobody's wanted to build on without a view of the water. It's not primo real estate. It's behind a condo. And I think instead of a big condo building, getting small cottages, even if it is high density, for me, it's a good happy medium between cottages and condos. And it fits. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Myers. Anyone else?
Billy, can
wish
I
to-
make a comment?
I'm sorry, who's this?
It's Ms. Vaughn.
Go ahead, Ms. Vaughn.
Yes. I fully support this project, and I don't think that we as a board should be dictating to him what color of building he puts. She's absolutely right. If you go to Greece, you'll see the white, and it holds up really well. It's beautiful. They take care of it. I don't think they're going to have an issue with the cleaning it or anything. I mean, that's what they do in those other places in the islands. And so I think we should support it. It's one of projects that we need over there. So anyway, I support it, and I think the TIRZ should approve it.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Vaughn.
Yeah, I do.
Go ahead.
I have a comment. Yeah, so I think it's, are you the developer, sir? Yeah.
Mr.
No.
Gordon's over here.
Over here. Oh, okay, I'm so sorry. I was looking at you. No, I think it's very important to say, and I think I speak for us all, we're thrilled that you're here wanting to invest and build, you know, these condos or these cottages. I'm sorry, cottages. That's not the issue at all. You know, North Beach has been a point of focus for quite some time. We want to make sure, as you said, Carrie, we're going in the right direction. And had you come up and said, hey, you know what? White is not the color because of X, Y, Z, because you're vested in that community. And you have a voice, and you have a voice for many in that area. We would take that into consideration. So we're just making sure and certain that what we are setting precedent of, it's not necessarily investment. We welcome you and we thank you. And that was my first thought was, this is a great project. We absolutely want it. The questions, that's doing our due diligence to say, well, what about the white? Because 6 months from now, if Carrie comes up here and says, I don't know why y'all allowed this. Look how terrible they look because they're white or blah, blah, blah. That would be on us. It doesn't mean that's going to happen. It means it's just a question to ask because of the proximity to the water, right? And it could mean absolutely nothing, like you may just have proven. I don't know, but those are just questions, and that is our job as a TIRZ board. But as far as this project, we couldn't welcome you more for that, because that's exactly what we're trying to do, is focus on and make it a new day for North Beach, and you're a part of that. So we thank you. We thank you in advance, and we look forward to your development moving forward. But I can, just from what you've shown us here, the landscaping, that's a perfect example. It's a plus, and it makes it look even better than, you know, what it was the first time. And it was something we were able to work with you on. So thank you on that. So I just wanted to make that point.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other comments? Anyone else wish to speak? Mr. Gordon, would you like to speak? May I speak? Sure. Come forward.
Well, thank you. Again, I'm Gordon Awesome from 1 Virginia Hills Drive in Corpus Christi. And this project has been moving fast. I closed on the land on the first week of April, and I've been trying to get this in the ground this year because it's an opportunity zone, and that's my objective. But I just want to reiterate, what I'm trying to do is build a very elegant project that will compete with the Lighthouse. And the Lighthouse is a world-class development by a world-class developer backed by a guy that loves North Beach. And it's a little daunting to compete with that. But what I'm also trying to do is build on my history as a developer. I've been around for 45 years and haven't gone bankrupt yet, and take these risks, and I got to follow what I think is right, and usually listen to my wife because I regret it if I don't, and she's smarter than I am. And we really have a vision of this as a modern Spanish Mediterranean project that is a net zero carbon USDA or U.S. Department of Energy, Energy Star certified building. It's one of a kind. You don't have anything like this going on in Corpus Christi right now that I could find, and I think it's going to set the bar. So one of the things it should be is white, because Caribbean colors are a heat sink, and we're trying to make this an efficient project. And it makes a big difference whether you have a white roof and a white building or a deep blue. It absorbs a lot more color. The other thing is elegant, I think a Lively Beach, and it was mentioned before, but Lively Beach is all white with some Mediterranean light blue. And we're going to use some color in this project. We're going to have black aluminum railings. I don't know if we'll have a black roof trim. That might not be the case. You saw those pictures. I was trying to give you an image of what this is like. And the third one of those pictures, I don't know if you could put it up again, is more what I think it's going to look like, not the traditional look like the lighthouse has. So anyway, I just wanted to say we're hoping to move forward, get under construction this year. We're deep into the working drawings. I was trying to have elevations for you and more detail. I can't make the draftsman make me ahead of the line. He's got so much work, he's swamped. I pulled in a draftsman from Minnesota to revise the site plan for the fire chief, and he did it in a different CAD drawing, and it comes out in a color, and it's just the time. We're all jammed up with construction right now. But we're going to get this done right. We're going to have the site raised. We're talking about having boulders on each side of the site, and I'm going to work with the engineer and making sure I don't flood the neighbors. We're going to do this right. So I'm hoping you'll trust the developer, because I want to do business in this town again. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Austin. Mr. Pusley.
Okay, Randy, just real quickly, so this incentive will be spread over, you said the lesser of 15 years, or what's
Or
the
the
term of
expiration
the
of the
TIRZ for
The
North?
the expiration date is December 31, 2039. So it'll probably be 15 years.
15 years. Okay, so we'll divide the $300,000 over the 15 years. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
and then based on that increment, building up.
Okay, well, I think we've all asked a lot of questions about this, and this is overall a good project, and I think the key here is the developer has to compete with what's going on, and he's going to have to make this nice, and he's said he's going to do that, so we have to take him at his word, and we'll see how it works out. So, Mr. Chairman, with that, I'd make a motion that we approve.
Second. Oh,
Any further discussion, board? All those signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Oh, did I hear? Oh, I heard an aye, right?
mm-hmm.
Congratulations, Mr. Awesome. Let's get to work, start digging it up, let's go. Okay. Moving to item H, presentation items. Presentation of the proposed FY 2022 reinvestment zone number 4 budget. Go ahead.
Good morning, board members. Eddie Houlihan with the Office of Management and Budget. We're going to, just a presentation item today, no action.
All right.
The participating entities in the TIRZ 4, the city, Del Mar College, and the county. I think the thing that certainly jumps out in this page is the estimated column that Ms. Hurlbert mentioned, that the budget was based on the values received from the appraisal district. After the values were received, they were reduced due to damage from Hurricane Hannah, to the point actually where the city and the county values, the current values less than the base, and Del Mar is just a very little bit more, so we only expect to get about $118 in FY21. In FY22, those values did increase considerably by $25.8 million, or a little over 24%. So in FY22, we expect to get, based on the preliminary value, a little over $315,000. Moving on to the expenditures, just a couple of line items here. The creation expense for the TIRZ was $69,000. The remainder of that some of it was budgeted in 21, and then in 22, the remainder of that. So that will be the end of those expenditures. And then on the general fund administrative support, $72,000. So the FY22 expenditures of $105,105. high level. Of course, we had no fund balance to begin, as 21 was the first year of this TIRZ. 21 expected to end a little bit negative, a little over 64,000. And then in FY '22, revenues of 315,000, expenditures of 105, and an expected fund balance at the end of '22 of 145,940. I'll stand by for any questions you might have.
Any questions, Mr. Zanoni? Huh, your name came up. There you go.
Yeah, sorry, that was an accident.
No problem. No questions? Okay, well, no further business before this board. Meeting is adjourned.